Maybe. Maybe. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday's Coffee and Crafting. It's me, your host, Axiom. We're live. It's Sunday. Here's the coffee. I'm in my Reese's mug today. And there's some crafting. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, watch. Hope you got some sleep, friend. We were up way late doing factory things yesterday. That was loads of fun. Loads and loads of fun. But we have non-factory things to do. There will be no factoring going in today. None. Look, everyone. Built a little lounge at the top of the arcade. Starting soon is still up. What are we talking about? Is there a delay? Starting soon here. No, we already started. It's not happening soon. It's happening now. There we are. I realized when I was playing around in here, I was supposed to have put like some speaker bits, right? Because like, how you gonna have your thing? I don't know what to do. Froze. Yeah, happens. Maybe we'll do like that, and then we'll like that. Cool. A little bit of beep beep going on for some music. People come in. We do need to take care of this. I know Mel had to rework her idea when I did something downstairs here for the DDR system that may not, be walkway friendly. When I put it together, I had completely forgotten that, there were stairs right here. So when I squeezed it in, I didn't squeeze good enough. So she had to modify this. She did a good job. She brought it out, but this doesn't really. I don't think this works. I don't like this. Like, it's too easy to just walk off, and there's no rail or walkway up here for this at all. So you just go splat. So I think we might. I don't want to tubify it the whole way, but we might kind of tubify it. You know what I mean? Maybe bring that down by one, and maybe just put like a couple here. So we'll get to that. Let's dive in. Because it's water. Door. Give me the door. We're gonna need glass for that. So here we are. It is the day after Minecraft Live. Oh, that was something. We'll talk about that today as well. Probably wait just a little bit, let everyone get in, get acquainted, get their morning coffee going. Let's see what skadoodle we can get up to now. Get out. I'm always afraid I'm going to hit that water and then stop flying. Or I'm going to splat on the wall going out of there. And then, bad things will happen. I gotta have like a named something. What is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, see how this goes all the way up? I think we just gonna need that here. Just a little bit. Just a hair. Boom. Yeah. Then you don't feel like you're just gonna like fall off. Just come a little water. I also thought about seeing if I could make it so it didn't look like it was just like a water vader. Like put some scaffolding or something in there. So it looks like you're walking into an elevator or something, but I don't know. But we did up the air hockey table. We got some arcades running around in here. Figured they look pretty cool. Maybe this is one of those corner, like, 4-player kind of games going on. So just having a little bit of fun with some of the decor in the arcadiness. Put in some heads, so this will be good. Mel can come in and do, an armor stand or something if she wants to. I'll be fine. Hey, they got maps working on the server. We'd had maps being a little broken because of the multi-world nonsense we have going on. So the map of the city actually tracks now. So look, it's the city. I do have one problem with this map, y'all. It's a big problem, but it's an easy problem, I think, to resolve. Besides me not being able to step out of it. Okay. Ready for my problem? I don't like the gray background. I don't like it. The whole grayness. It's because we're in the end. And so that's like the default color. Now, there's a way to make it transparent, and that's to lay it out with glass. Two problems with that. One, that's the border of our claim. So if I wanted the entire map to be transparent, we'd have to do out there. And that is not part of our claim. So we'd have to get some mod approval to do that, even if it was just temporary. Just so we could have the map. Hello? I did not mean to fall all the way down. Nope, not that floor. Not that floor. That's the floor. Sorry, we gotta take a little trip here real quick. Hello? Apparently, that corner is not... I watch my Y level. There we go. Don't want to get too far away. So yeah, so we'd have to do something to clean that up. I don't know what that is. I was actually debating seeing if I could put in a mod coin as like a service and be like, hey, can you just do like at a Y1 or 2 or whatever it is, fill this entire region with glass? Just whoosh, do a carpet. I'll refresh my map, and then you could take it all away. Here's my only concern with that. I don't want it to be transparent because I have stuff under here. So I think a solid color would actually be good. I just don't know what color we would do. I think the gray, you don't see, like, look, that right there, that's the runway, right? That's this section. That's this. You don't see that on the map because it's all that same gray color. So I'm like, it needs to be darker. But I think if we were to go like black, then the road would be too dark. Because basalt apparently shows as black on a map. So I'm kind of at a little bit of a conundrum to even like what to do, right? Like, I'm fine with doing the work. If I need to go down there and lay 10,000 blocks, I'll lay 10,000 blocks to get it to look right. But it's something that I discovered kind of recently when I first made the map. I was like, okay, cool, here's the map, and I didn't care because I was just thinking like, what are we going to do to get rid of the purple block? But now it's just a border claim. So it's a really wild first world problem. I kind of want to do, and this might sound weird, I think it would look cool if it was like a white. I think what I need to do is look up on, I don't know, the wiki, or I don't know, there's probably not documentation, but look up what the different map color, why is that a different map color? You see that? Those are all different map colors. Now I'm curious what those first two are. But look up like different colors and just to see like, okay, what colors are on the map. Maybe we can find something that is neutral without being confounding. Are these different? No. Nope. Say build. It's just wild to me that they have a different color on the map. Huh. This one's coming out like all orange and stuff. I don't know. Mel, you must build additional pylons. The sign said so. We got to figure out what the pylons are. So the pylons, we were talking about building something that would indicate the corner, right? So people, the server admins want the base claims to be kind of obvious what they are, so that when they're culling chunks and doing server cleanup and maintenance, they can take care of that easily. I'm actually kind of excited for Impulse to see this, not because this is impressive redstone, but because this is a really stupid, simple design for a really cool and functional thing that you could have. You know? At least I think so. I like it. I'm happy with it. I did stupid redstone. I love stupid redstone. Actually, redstone is the best. Stupid. All right, we're gonna do boom, boom. Mel, get on it. Okay, we have some detail work to do, and there's a fall district to build Halloween autumn stuff. We might go do autumn. I don't know. Depends on how we feel about some of the detail work to get done. First order of business, let's go empty our pockets. Some of the changes that have been around, I don't know if you guys have seen all this, but we have some signage. We're trying to add some more stuff like this around. I did up the hoverboards. It's not obvious because I don't think there's a good way of doing it. So like I added that guy back there, and I think that helps. And I think if we were to put a couple of these, maybe around the city with some people on them, it could be cool. It's just it's such a challenge to do some of this stuff. I know we're gonna make multiple trips around and doing things, so it's gonna be a lot of back and forth, probably more than usual, as we just kind of put things together and figure out what's what. What is this wood? Trick it. Clack. Not clickety clack. Yeah. You go clickety clack. You go clickety clack. Oh, it's actually clickety clackety. It is. It doesn't make the clickety clack sound because it's quiet. But yeah. Carpet. It's a whole new world. Oh, those are pressure plates. Yank. Put the moss in. I also need to apologize. I am most definitely going to be crouching in a stupid way a lot today. So shift on Minecraft is hang over the edge. Shift in most other games is just hear a door close? Oh, that's the clickety clack. Shift in other games is the like sprint. So it's satisfactory. I've been doing things like sprinting. And then in Minecraft, shift is crouch. So if you see me do this, it's because I'm thinking sprint in my head, but mojang backwards. All right, let's talk. I found this. Yeah, it's over here, right where I left you. So the key places we have left to really detail. Need to work on the medical building a little bit more because I haven't done that. Been pretty bad. Sorry. But the other place, and it's kind of been a sore thumb for me, is the brownstones. So this was, and we knew this would be one of the big heavy lifts. It's this block right here, because there were 6 big buildings that there's kind of a lot going on with them. And it's not enough that we did one, right? We did the underside, but it's so cumbersome, especially because it's blown up. It's supposed to look like this, right? It's supposed to be all destroyed, demolished, and in ruin. But we kind of need to do something in here, and I want to clean that up. So I think what we might do is I'm going to pull up the brownstone schematic. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. There's going to be a lot of things that are different because we made a lot of changes on the fly here in the build. But I just want to take a look at it and see, you know, like there's holes like this that we may or may not want. There's other little bits that we just might want to kind of finish up. Like this has no floors in it, even up here. And I'm okay with it not being detailed and having no floors, but I think it would make sense to at least put some of it in there. So that's going to be my goal. I think this morning is I want to try to wrap this up. Basically, my goal is I'm going to tear out the stone platform today. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that. So I'll have to figure that out. As we do it. So, like we have scaffolding in here. We got to put in like there's no windows, but there's still bits and bobs of it. It doesn't have the floor that would be up here. I need to light that up because oh my gosh. It's step 1. We need to get inside. That's going to be interesting. How do we get in there? Aha! Don't die. Woo! So you guys have obviously been hanging out here for a bit. That's funsies. Welcome to inside the mountain. Part of me wanted to build something in here, make it like some sort of secret city, but we have too much going on. I don't have the time or patience or energy to do some of that goofiness. So also, we're missing something. All right, time to do some schematic review, y'all. Let's check it out. We're gonna go schematics. Entire claim on. Let's do a configuration menu. This is just gonna be a lot. So we're gonna take it easy. That is just covering. Okay, so it's basically just pulling that in. Looks like we use the roots. Here, we'll do this and make it more solid so we can see. Yeah, so we just need to get like the blackstone bricks and put that in there. I don't know. Do you want blackstone bricks? I kind of want to do cracked bricks, right? Make it all like this. All right, let's get some cracked blackstone bricks. Let's get some roots, but I don't want the root just exposed on this side, so maybe we'll do something here to make it feel more dead. As weird as that might sound. We can add. I could put some skulk in there. That could work. Just skulkify along the side. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's do. Yeah, we'll grab some blackstone bricks. I think we'll do some cracked bricks on that. What is that? Maybe some light blue glass and some oak. Okay. Off. Welcome to the back rooms. Shame we can't put pods all upside down. Just throw that out there. Grab some skulk. We're gonna need the roots, which are by the trees. Excuse me. Let's do other side, I think. Throw some glow light. That'll help give it an eerie feel. Also, get to be project box there. Blackstone. Okay, so we should have bunches of cracked stuff somewhere. And yeah, we'll throw that in with the regular. But I think having some cracked in there will help tarnish it or diminish it quite a bit. I don't remember. Cheaty cam. Do we want to do the chiseled stuff? Because that's very much what it is up here. We could. We could definitely do that. We'll do the chisel. We'll take some polished. What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8 walls. Handful of stairs. And yeah, we'll throw in some wood for the what would be the bitches. Okay. Hello? Do we have any? Take some of those. Polished. Walls, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'll take 10th so we can have it. And probably some slabs. Oh, look, there's more cracked. Yeah. Let's take more cracked. Get okay. Got that. What about using the deep slate? It edged on it. Don't really have anything else that's good for like a stair that way. Yeah, I guess the polished is going to be it, isn't it? I don't remember how many's there. I think it's more than the stack's worth. But you know what? We'll bring in some stairs too. It can look kind of ruinous that way. I'll be fine. And we just want maybe a few of those. Slabs. One. That's not one. Singular sensation. Okay. Light blue glass. Beautiful. Is excellent. 10 blocks. Stone. I have like a stack of you, but we're gonna need some more. Boink. Perfect. I think the nice thing is we'll be able to build a lot of this actually from in the middle. Okay. It's funny looking at how many extra blocks we had everywhere. Right, so these would be the stairs, right? So just kind of boop boop that around. Also, I don't know if it's me. I have Swift Sneak on my pants. Okay. I don't feel like this is Swift Sneaky. We're gonna do a little time here. How long does it take me to get that torch? Are we ready? I have a stopwatch. Hold on. And go. So with my Swift Sneak boots, legs, it's like a 4-second crawl. Take them off. And go. I was faster without them. Okay, so it's not just me, right? Like everything has been goofy. Let's see. Because I was doing some stuff yesterday. I was like, this is incredibly slow. Oh, look at that. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, boy. Okay, there we go. A reset did it. Echo, spot on. Beautiful. It's like there's no way that this is Swift Sneak. I wasn't feeling sneaky enough. I wasn't even feeling swifty enough. Not that I'm a Swifty. I'm just gonna throw a couple of those in periodically. I significantly underestimated how big this space was because I'm almost out. Wow. Okay. I wonder what else is weird. I do think it's sad I'm running with my netherite, though. It's disappointing. What am I working on? This is the Cyber City in the end. The wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous Melanie I've been working on. We're gonna need some stuff. This thing is huge. It is huge. Give me 1 second. I will step in here. We'll turn that off. Buttons. Just woke up. That's what coffee's for. Just throwing that out there. That's what the coffee's for. How am I feeling? Okay, welcome to the train depot. This is our main base of main storage, right? We wanted something where we could have our storage here so we weren't going back and forth between the overworld and ending up with shulker monsters all over the city. So this was Mel's beautiful design and kind of refactored. I helped out with some of the trainee stuff. Hello, Zayden. Welcome in. Apologies if it's supposed to be Exiden or X-Aiden, but hello. It's funny, a couple days I was so proud to finish my nether tunnel, and now I have, you know, the actual base. Yeah. The actual base takes time. So, everything you're about to see was not built overnight. Very much not built overnight. Welcome to the city. So we've been working on this, I think server started like in October, and we got out here in like January-ish. So a welcome in. Here's the Cyber City in the end. Our big, beautiful monster of a space. Yeah, thank you. Most of this was designed by Mystical Mel. I just helped build some of it. Of course, I had input and did things. So we wanted to honor like the end itself. So we have an end boat, but we actually, one, put it in some water, and two, I like cyberfied it. So like, it's got nothing on the inside because why would you do that? Woo. I can't get in there. Come on. Fine. That's embarrassing. Think. So we add little bits. And we also did that to an end city. Now this is over the void. This is the nearest gateway is north that way, and we have the main end island to our south. But this was this is like the bread and butter of what we've been working on. Put in some hollow stuff. Give it that cyber feel. Got some police runners running. Very much Blade Runner inspired. Those of you who have seen the movie will probably recognize the design for the most part. This was kind of fun to throw together. We got to detorchify, but we wanted to have like this old town feel, right? And then come up with the new hotness also. Maybe some like digital signage, some walkways. There's a little car accident here. Whoopsie doodle. That doesn't look very good. And then we had the lovely Waffle House, because you got to have a Waffle House in every good city, I guess. So says Mel. Therefore, she's right. She's always right. Yeah. So we just have this bright, colorful, cyber-infused futurism of a world going on with different hollows and happiness happening from time to time. My face gets implanted. Got a parking garage. Got to add some vehicles in there. That's part of the detailing work also. Got like a little transporter or transponder. We thought it was pretty cool. Like, how would the cars move about, like dimensionally or separately? So, like, well, what if they like teleport in? Mostly because we liked the building, but we weren't exactly sure what we were going to do with it. So we were like, oh, that's a good use. And then I decided we needed to have a greenery. I wanted this to be a completely manufactured garden, though, with like fake trees. Like, obviously fake trees, cartoony fake trees. That was overshot by chat and Mel. They were like, do real trees, Axie. And Mel was like, yes, you're only allowed to do real trees. So then I was like, good. And I put saplings everywhere, and she was about to light my face on fire, I think. I'm pretty sure she had a bucket of lava in her hand. But we really redid that. Oh, she did the walkway. We were talking about doing up a little walkway over here. Yeah, she did it. Nice. Definitely work in progress. Gotta. But yeah. So this was the pretty part. This was the ooh and ah, but I really had fun like building the bridge and setting this up and putting the trees together. We put these together on stream. Every one of the trees here is handmade. Not a single sapling was used in the production of this shindig. But this isn't even the masterpiece. No. Mel has a tree. Let me show you guys this tree. See it from here. Stupid city. Buildings in the way. It's like a real city, right? Where you're like, oh, we want to go look over there. Okay, we got to walk 2 blocks up. Oh, yeah, it's a cyber city, right? So we got some dystopian trash piles everywhere. It's a must-have. This right here, this is pretty cool. I'll pause for a moment, free cam it. So this is Mel's Hollow Dragon. Look at that thing. Ah, it's so awesome to see. Like, the further away from you it is, the better it looks. And then she did up this tree. Look at this cherry tree, y'all. Look at this blossom. So amazing. Okay, are you ready? I've been showing off all the cool stuff that Mel's been doing. So the cyber cities traditionally have a lot of dystopian nature to them, right? Where the bottom of the city is old, decrepit, defunct, devoid, things like that. And then the top tends to be built higher, newer, brighter, better. Lots of neon, things like that. And I had this idea of everyone's going to do that. They're going to have a little bit on the bottom and a little bit on top. I said, what if you just took your entire city and you flipped it upside down and made that the dystopian part of your city? So we did. Because we're absolutely insane. So you don't just get one city. No. We have 2 cities. We're down here, it's muted, it's dark, things are broken, they don't work. Yeah. This has been crazy? I'd say crazy. Crazy is a good word. Right about here's about the middle. Whoop. So yeah, so where we have the lovely cyberish end boat at the top. I can eat. I can't. We have the cyber end boat at the top. We have just a sunken ship on the bottom. I thought that was a bit of irony that was fitting. Yeah. So every building, every section has its inverse. And instead of having lush greenery, we have it decrepit and old. Somewhere around here, I have like blinking lights. Yeah. To kind of help illustrate the flutteriness. These things have some weird randomness to them too. Like you'll look at it and be like, oh, there's a pattern to it, and then one of them blinks separately. You're like, wait, what? Oh, that's fun. I did that with the runway over here too on the fire airport. So the lights up top, it's very clearly this is a landing strip. And then you get down and it's like there are no lights. Oh, yeah, there are. They're on the frets. Or like the flower garden. This was very much inspired from the gardens in Singapore, right? The tall trees. Big, beautiful, brilliant. Down here, we put them, busted one of them in half. Kind of have it, in shards. I thought that was pretty cool touch to do it. But it's really wild when you look at different aspects of the city. You can really tell. You really tell where the city, the tone is muted, right? That it's just not as bright or vibrant as it had been. It's not as lush and lucrative. And we muted all the tones. We used different blocks when we had to. we kind of had a little bit of a roadmap in terms of if this block, then that block, right? If it was like a high texture, bright block, then we wanted to go with a flat tone, dark block underneath to really, really help call that out. Do it. Then over here, we literally dropped TNT in the creative space and just let it blow up so we could see what is it just blew up. There's just big holes missing out of this part. So, but we wanted it to be a mirror, but we didn't want it to be a straight reflection top and bottom. So there's different parts, like the city has different elevation. There's different components that stick out or are applied differently. Some of it we built on after the fact. So we're like, oh, we got to figure out what we're doing. Like down here, originally this tunnel existed here on the downside as well. I don't know if we're keeping the tunnel. So I don't know what we're going to do with it. I suggested we turn it into a cave. That's my thing. Baboon! Hello, Babs. Anyhow. Let's see, we're going to do a shout out to Mr. Baboon. Should definitely go check him out. You like that creeper, Babs? Here, I got a creeper for you. This is a good creeper. Creeper go boom? I mean, it will if you stand there long enough. See, I got a creeper friend. Isn't he cool? I need rockets. We got our stuff, right? Yeah. So that's the kind of the cyber city. Like there's a lot to it. There's a lot of hopping around to it. This is one of those things where I don't like when I built my Jurassic Island, I had a clear narrative to tell with it. This narrative is a little different because the narrative is very broadly conceptualized. It's not a reality of a narrative. It's not like this specific story has happened. The narrative really is, this is a cool city and it's huge. And we had a cool idea, and so we built it. It's kind of wild for it. I know Mel has a much better angle for a lot of it than I do. I will always defer to her. I only have 2 of those left. Boo! A plague. Plague of both your houses. Does it? Yeah, no, that doesn't go over there. That's just wraps. There. It's football day. Who's playing? I think my Cowboys played the Giants Thursday? Monday? I don't remember now. Last week? Go Cowboys? I don't want to go that far. Sure, maybe. Yeah. I know I'm a bad Texan. You can't not like the Cowboys. It's really hard when you have just a strong franchise, right? Like, very obviously, they've done well for themselves for generations. All right, we got to pause here. So this is where the chaos of this build comes into play, because we need to be underneath slightly. We don't do things like safety boxes around here. No. Safety boxes are no good. Let's walk out here. Boink, boink. Yeah, that works. That way? Come on, it's not bedrock. Should... might be too high. No, actually. I am perfect. Cool. Well, I mean, I know I'm perfect. I remind Mel of that every time she logs in. My team plays tomorrow, so watching football to watch football. I mean, that's reasonable. Football is worth watching. I got off of football for a long time. Like, I didn't... it started when I was getting out of cable. It was just hard to catch. At one point, I remember it was completely free if you wanted to stream it on your phone. But streaming it from the web browser, they'd make you pay for it. And it's like, come on. The NFL.com app works no problem. But NFL.com webpage suddenly is lucrative business? Come on. And then I think they caught on to what everybody was doing. And so they stopped allowing for that also. They're like, hey, we could make lots of money by charging people lots of money. Like, yeah, can you really, though? What is that? That way. I don't want to build the stairs. Oh, why do you have so many blocks? I've crouched a lot this game. Let's just say that. We laugh at the word safety. Well, yeah. Who has time for safety? I mean, gosh. Not me. Oh, I know why. Because this is that part. What is this? Is there no block there? You know, I talk about not having a safety box, and then I do things like have a safety box, and it's kind of like, but actually, you're using a safety box. I'm like, well, yeah, but no, not really. This is, at best, a temporary safety net. Really, it's just a precarious walkway. Like one intermin in the wrong spot, and this becomes a hilarious stream where I have to go update our top scoreboard. Ah! Oh, I had a brilliant idea. I don't know if Mel will do it or not. I gotta talk to her about it because I had this definite shower thought. Okay, we have the parking garage that's inverted over here. I want to build like a dilapidated hoopty, right? I want to build like the classic pickup truck with its hood up and like on cinder blocks, or like its wheels are busted sitting next to it. Like I want to put Mater in here. Okay, that's what I want to do. I think it'd be hilarious. Sure. That's not a thing. This 1 hour later. Temporary block for the win. We have so much stone, you guys. So much stone. There we go. Not gonna care that that's wrong. I don't think. Bop. Uh-huh. I see what I did there. I'm not sure I like it. All right, let's get into some fun chat. Let's talk. It's time. I'm gonna have my baristas give me a refill. Hold on here. All right, they're in the middle of a match. I'll be right back. One day, I will be a professional streamer. Uh, Thank you, Babs. I forgot I muted it to make my coffee. See, this is why I need coffee. Okay. As I was saying, we're going to talk about some Minecraft Live. That's what we're going to do. I need 1, 2, 3. Those. That's easy peasy. This. We're going to go up. Then we're going to cheat and go bop, bop, bop. iSV, quality of life updates. I do like it. So yeah, when we come back from the ad break, we will get to stuff. Okay, we want some cracked brick. I want to do more cracked brick than not, I think. Because I want it to feel broken and busted. What might do is I might just fill it all in like this, and then spottedly put in regular stuff. I think that'll work. All right, here's your warning. Your first and only warning, really, that we will be talking about Minecraft Live and its updates. So if you don't want to hear it, you're not interested, spoiler free, now's your chance to go find a less interesting stream to keep yourself entertained, because this won't be it. All right, let's go. Minecraft Live was delivered excellently. I'm very happy with the tone that the show had coming into it. There was a lot over the last few years where they were not only childish, but also, how do I put this? Commercialized. They were over commercialized, where it was felt more like an advertising slot than it did a presentation from a technical gaming company on what they're doing with their product over the coming years, you know? And so that was nice. I'm glad to see that, because that was definitely missing. More bricks, please. We're gonna have to go down there, I think, to do that side. So it's like, yeah, good. This is what we need, right? Yes, the game is generally tendered for children, right? The target age of Minecraft is 10 to 16. However, I don't think that target audience is the longevity of Minecraft, and I think that they picked up on that after feedback from the last several events that they've held, where it's like, oh, wait a second, we need to rethink this, right? 10-year-olds aren't tuning in to Minecraft Live, not really. They wouldn't do that. They'd have no reason to do that. It's not their cup of tea. Minecraft Live is a replacement for what was like Minecon and what's new in their product. And very much like here's the roadmap that we're on. And they kind of got away from that, thinking it was an opportunity to, what is it, the words they used? Speak to their client, to their target base. It's like, no, you're speaking to content creators. You're speaking to content creator audiences. You're speaking to content creator adjacent spaces. You're speaking to people who really like to play the game and have been playing since they were 10. But they're not 10 now, right? The game is 15 years old. If you started playing when it first came out, you're in your 20s. Functionally. Like that's the reality that Mojang needed to adopt, and I think they kind of did. The tone in this live was very different. It was very, we have some things we want to share with you, and we're going to do that now. That being said, they still missed it. There's still something that wasn't quite right. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Coffee achieved. Coffee achieved. And actually, we're going to take this opportunity to pause on the build, because I have a thing for this. Boom. First off, this was the best moment of Minecraft Live. if you haven't seen any of the Element animation stuff, you should go look up Element animation on YouTube. They are phenomenal, and as a matter of fact, that's where my Tianta redeem kind of comes from. A skit that they did where they were finding, look at this magic box we found. Oh, it has words on it. Tianta. All hail Tianta. But it's Steve basically flubbing on getting in a minecart and chasing it down, and TNT getting involved and blowing everything up. Absolutely hilarious. They do this skit called Villager News. Phenomenal thing. Highly recommend it. They broke into Minecraft Live to help hype up what would be their release. Now, we're going to pause for a moment because there were leaks the days leading up to the release. The biggest leak came from Mojang themselves when they posted on their webpage the post Minecraft Live page. Someone hit publish instead of publish later. And so it had up there, here's the highlights from the thing, and there are 3 big announcements. And then it had all this stuff, right? So everyone knew about it 2 or 3 days ago. Well, then somebody who's definitely getting fired was working with the subtitles, and they got the recording, which we'll talk about in a moment, and took some screenshots and dumped it, probably thinking, well, the leak's already out there. Here's the pictures to support it. And they were spot on with every single picture they posted. It was a 100% accurate leak. It was pulled down within minutes, mind you. But all of this to say, Minecraft Mojang suffers from PR, and they're really bad at it. They're good, I guess, because we all talk about it. But I think if you were to look objectively at any news article that they themselves publish, any blog post, any hype, any piece, and then combine that with the results, right? The return on investment, as it were. You're going to find it. Feather, thank you for that. Gifting a sub to Echo. Guys, Feather is amazing. You know that? Feather is easily one of my favorite people, and not just because, you know, she's awesome in the chat, but like, she's legitimately awesome. Are you online right now? Yes, you are. Like, she's fun, and she has a good time, and it's cool. Feather's definitely. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Also, Echo, you have a really cool emote. Now, congratulations. You're a mean mod. Well, I mean, that means you're doing it right, so good job. Torment them. Who's your kitty play toy of the month? Really? But yeah, so Mojang and the Minecraft Live. So we can just like jump into all that and why like their PR is just bad. Tone of the presentation, perfect. Exactly what we needed to have. Here's the business side of it. Here's some information. Here's like a project adjacent things. And then here's the core of what's going on with the products we're doing. They did a highlight on the Minecraft movie. Although I dislike bits about the Minecraft movie, I appreciate the highlight that they did. I did laugh because there were several of us who all tweeted at like the same 30-second interval on how Jared Hess, the producer, looks more like Steve than Jack Black does. So that was hilarious. And then they went into upcoming update information. And this again is tone, okay? They did it right, but they dropped the ball. Because it should have had, here, in the video, let's backtrack. Minecraft announced, I don't know, like 2 months ago, that they would be changing their update strategy. Right? Like what's in their future. And I really think they're having some head changes at Minecraft right now. There's someone new in the picture who I think has stepped in because they've had so many problems. And I think we're starting to see the business management come in and be like, y'all were playing around and you've lost the goal. So that's an important thing. But they said, we're changing our feature development rhythm, and instead of providing one update during the summer, as we've done in the past, we'll be releasing a number of game drops throughout the year. The game drops will vary in size and bring you features to explore more frequently. So, perfect example of that is the Armored Paws. Excuse me. Last year's Minecraft Live, we had the mob vote, which has been turmoil for years. They voted in the armadillo because it would give wolves armor, is what the people did. Perfectly fine. Cool with that. That released before 1.21. Most people, if you ask them, what are wolf variants and wolf armor, they would say it's 1.21. It's not. It's 1.20.5. It released like a good 2.5 months before 1.21. And so 1.21, you know what that was? The trial chamber. It was only the trial chamber. They advertised it at Minecraft Live in October, and it took them 6.5 months to get it to where it was ready at delivery. And when it delivered into Bedrock, the ominous vaults weren't, they didn't have the updated loot table. They were still giving away something like 40% food and emeralds. You couldn't get a heavy core out of over 100 vaults because the loot table changes. You still had mobs spawning in them in different regions. You have Java still has a wild bug where each cartographer within a village only gives you the one map, where the way it's supposed to work is it gives you a map to an unexplored chamber, just like how it works with like ocean monuments and other things. It's not a one and done map, but it's broken. It's a bug, and they haven't fixed it yet. So they have a lot of problems with releasing some of their features in general. So they changed the tone of this year's Minecraft Live. They get rid of the mob vote, which is good. There should be some hype for what they're getting ready to release, because we haven't seen any content since the 1.21 update at this point. There's been nothing going on with it. It's been quiet. And then the leaks come out, and it's a new biome, which is meh, and a new hostile mob. Curious, you have my attention. Let's have a conversation. The biome they introduce, it has white wood, right? It's called the Pale Garden, and with the pale oak or whatever they're calling it. Fine, great, white wood. We're all happy. Yay! It's a really good thing. Like I want to emphasize that is a good thing. The trapdoors look fantastic. As a matter of fact, it's down here. They showcase part of it.
Oak. What's that?
See if we can pull that in. Like there's the fences, the gate. You have some new moss that's coming in that grows up on the side of the wall, which I think is really cool. This doesn't. Can I capture my cursor? That's fine. But yeah, like there's lots of good things for this update that it's like, wow, good job. Good job, Mojang.
Like, because it's very
they show what their inspiration was. And that's where things but continue what I believe is a disconnect between what the Mojang devs put out and what they talk about doing. I think there's a lot of talk at Mojang, not a lot of action. Because, like, a Spanish Willow, come on, this looks phenomenal, right? And in game, you can see what they were going for. This is fantastic. Except you go look at what the forest was. Let's see if they have a good one. There's a good overshot at one point. They talked about it for a long time. Oh, look. It's a dark oak forest. These are literally dark oak trees with a texture. besides the new moss plant. It's a dark oak forest. It's built like a dark oak forest. It has the same footprint as a dark oak forest. It's a dark oak forest reskinned. And so people on the internet and the comments in the videos were really like, oh my gosh, it's just a dark oak forest. And other people are like, well, why are you complaining about it? You know, it's new wood. Celebrate the new wood. It's like, okay. You could put together a resource pack and throw it up on the wood in an afternoon. As a professional artist, if you can't do that in maybe an hour or so, I have questions functionally. This does not, to me, working in IT, demonstrate an organization with 600 to 1,000 people who functionally have a game. Yes, Minecraft Dungeons still exists. It's not getting updated. Minecraft Legends also exists, not getting updated. This group has two big projects. The movie, which the game development studio shouldn't be a part of. That's figureheads to be a part of. And Minecraft. Say what you will for the Java versus Bedrock. I'm going to ignore the parody bit for right now because, in my opinion, the developers can drop it in Java and then let the Bedrock people recreate it, right? It's the wrong way of doing business, different conversation. But in this case, how hard is it to come up with a new bio? How much work is that? And, you know, we don't know. We're not on the inside. I have some personal experience. I have family who's worked at AAA studios, including, you know, EA games and things. So I have secondhand knowledge of some of the stuff that goes on, and I get it. But what I look at is the armadillo wins the mob vote. They have wolf armor ready in less than a month. It's in testing, like 2-3 weeks later. Let's see, October, it broke for the holidays. By like January, we had initial testing. People, they gave feedback as to what was wrong with the armor. It was changed each week through the snapshots to where it was ready. It sat ready for like a month, excuse me, with no feature changes. And it's everything from we want to be able to dye the armor and blah, blah, blah. And that came, boom. So either they had already developed all of that and it was just waiting to hear feedback to see if they should implement it, which is a waste of development resources. Or the reality is it doesn't take a significant amount of time to make a majority of the changes. The significance is things like the pathing and some of the other stuff, like technical stuff that takes a while, and I get it. A lot of the cosmetics is easy. The rules for the biome, see, this is my thing. They changed with caves and cliffs the way the world generates, the noise that it makes. It's easier to create new biomes now because they carve out the area of the noise that they want to change. And they apply the rules to it. What's the ambient background pattern? What's the growth look like in there, right? And like looking at this, it's called the Pale Gardens. The Pale Garden biome. It's got one new plant, y'all. Hanging moss. Pale moss. What? Yeah, they're calling it like pale moss or whatever that hangs. That's the new plant in the Pale Gardens. I hear Pale Gardens, I'm thinking the gardens of Japan in Kyoto, or the Bridget Gardens, or the Roth Gardens up in San Francisco. These lush green places, you know, 80 acres of flowers and plant life and aloes and foreign things. And I get that this is like pre-release demo. Why would they not have a sniffer like claiming ancient seeds from the Pale Garden? And that's not stuff that they need to do 6 months down the road. They've had 6 months since the Trials update released to be working on this, right? So here's the thing, in development, you get to a point where you have your bunch, you have your dough ball. It's already made, it's mixed, it's been kneaded, it's ready. You just need to decide if you're rolling it out for a pizza or loafing it for a pan.
your core development team isn't working on that. They're working on the next project or the project that's 2 steps down the road. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, this is junior dev level stuff coming up with a new biome like this. You're not reinventing. Moss is a known technology. We have moss. Moss grows in the ground. It spreads. You turn it into a carpet. They've added the vines. Okay, I get you there. But we already have that. We have the crimson roots that grow from the nether trees. That exact we have the glowberries. That exact coding could be copied over, retextured, and used. It doesn't require new development. They're not rewriting thousands of lines of code to make the Pale Gardens as it was presented. But that's how it was hyped. It was hyped like this is some big bad biome like the ancient city was, and it's like this is a dark oak forest with a reskin. I haven't even talked about the mob. Forget the mob. They were so focused on making it spooky and bringing in the ambient noise and how it has a day-night effect and all these other bits to it, which are very cool. I appreciate it. I'm a little hesitant on this being 3 to 4 months worth of development time, and then the other work that goes into it, you know? Like, that's not celebratory. That's sad. Not from a AAA studio with, 300 developers. And oh, that was it. Where'd it go? Maybe it was in the after party when they talked more about the other tidbit. But yeah, so like I like the tone of delivery, the way they made it a little more to the point, less gimmicky, less funsy, and more. Here's what we're doing. I think my problem, and I think you're seeing this in the community, where you have IBX Toy Cat and Waddles, Pixel Riffs, Cubfan, DocM77. You have big creators going, what? We don't need the Nether update every year. I don't think anybody expects that or wants that. But we have the fletching table with no use for over 6 years. We have experiments active right now with redstone and minecarts and villagers in the Java edition. They don't have. There was no mention of that at all during this broadcast. This was a 30-minute broadcast, and at no point did they talk about that. Why can't they do something with the end? Exactly, Feather. Like, this could have been a new biome for the end. They didn't have to do an entire end update. They literally could have put a new tree-like biome out in the end. Just hey, we're adding a new biome to the end. Done. You would have seen people lose their mind at it. It's going to be a white wood. Come on. It would look so good with the chorus fruit, and it would look so good against the void that is the end. I mean, hello, I'm in there in iSV. It would, the grayish green that this has would look so good against the stark yellow of the end stone. It instantly would have elevated it, and it would have put people focused on, oh, they're looking at updating things within the end. This was an example. This was a door that they could have opened the same way they redid the Nether with introducing their 3 biomes to the Nether. This could have been the first biome introduced to the end as part of an end refresh over the years, and they're not doing it. I don't know why. I don't get why. It doesn't make sense to me why. And then they add, I want to find it in the video. They introduce the new mob. Somewhere in here called the creaking, right? The creaking. And I know there's better ones. And you could feel it like in chat. You could see it on Twitter. Everyone's like, oh, okay, let's see what this mob is. You stare at him and he stops, right? Everyone, of course, made the Doctor Who connection to the Weeping Angels. This is a mechanic that's existed. There's lore for generations on it. The Boos and Mario worked that way, where you look at them and they freeze. The new mob is related to the Enderman. The whole look don't look at exactly Feather. Like this feels like an Enderman type mob. Put him out in the end. Be perfect. You stare at him and he freezes. People are cool. They're like, okay, what is this guy like? What does he do? And then they go and hit him, and it does no damage. I'm still interested at this point, but what is that about? And they went on to emphasize, no, you hit him, and he creates all these particles in the back. Okay. You won't add a 2-pixel firefly as an ambient particle to a swamp because some frogs think it's poisonous. Never mind, you feed chocolate cookies to parrots and they blow up. But you have this guy that you whack and he has this whole 70 or 80 particles flying at a tree. Whoa. And then they're like, oh, you can't actually hurt him. He's just a puppet. And so to destroy him, you have to destroy the creaking heart. Okay, you still have my interest. This is a new mechanic. For the first time, a mob is tied to a block. You can't just defeat the mob. You have to defeat the block that they're associated with. And I guess it's not the first time because the dragon regenerated from the egg or from the end crystals. But you could defeat the dragon once you got strong enough. You don't need to destroy the end crystals. You go in there with a full netherite sword, enchanted sharpness with the power 5 bow, and you're just going to overpower the regeneration. This is I'm immune until you break my block mob. It's cool. It's unique. It's fun. It's fresh. I'm down for it. Let's do this. Dude's in iron armor. Let's watch this for a second. See if he takes damage.
You can actually
He's in
realize
just
that
full
it doesn't
iron
take
armor,
any damage, and when
right?
you try to
He's
hit
gonna turn around.
it points you somewhere in the canopy.
And he's gonna get hit.
That's where basically the creaking
And it's
heart
not even
is,
gonna do
and
a
that's
heart's
what
worth of damage
controls
to him.
the mob.
Like at all.
One of the main themes of the Pale Garden and
See, there's like,
its
where's
inhabitants
the heart?
is that
Okay,
there's
I'm
a lot
just
of
gonna stand here and stare
contrast
at him
from the
while I
rest of
chop
the
it down.
world. So when we made the creaking, we
It's not-
also wanted it to
it's not
feel
danger.
unfamiliar and different from other mobs.
This isn't scary. What are we doing here? Like I don't get what they were going for, but they dropped the ball. And like Doctum77 said it best. It has no point. This mob has zero purpose to the game. Remove the mob. Just have the creaking heart. And people are like, oh, well, it'll be a really fun prank to play on your friends. What's the prank? I'm going to hit him once. It's going to show me exactly what direction his block is in. And then I'm going to go break his block. And then your prank is done. You know, like it's not a fun prank. It's not like it's going to follow him around or anything. I don't know. Like I feel really meh on it. I can see mini games using it. You know, there's comments about like Tango and Decked Out 3, and I'm like, maybe if it aggroes quickly enough and it is a threat enough, running away from it could be dangerous. But then you could just turn and walk backwards and skip through it. Somebody on Twitter said it's going to be really dangerous running through the forest because now these creatures will come out after you as you're doing it. And I'm like, except you just hippity hop away from them. You don't like, even if 4 or 5 of them aggro on you, they stop moving during the day. They only come out at night. And you just hop past, just like you do most other mobs. You just hop away from them. No threat to this guy. Something like this should, I don't know, hit you and give you like a slowness effect or a weakness effect, or like make it to where you don't want to be hit with them, you know? They have the Elder Guardians do the mining fatigue. Maybe they should do the same thing to make it harder to break their block. You get hit with, you know, a 3-second mining fatigue. And they could have called it petrification. So like there's a lot to it from the content standpoint. It's like, why? This is 3 months of, I mean, this has probably been several months of development, not gonna lie there. Kudos to them for the mob, but I really feel like they had the idea for the mob and they're like, oh, what do we do with it? And somebody was like, well, maybe there should be a new biome for them. And I'm willing to bet there was discussions about where to put this guy. And I'm willing to bet people were talking about putting him in the trial chambers, but it wouldn't fit I'm willing to bet they were talking about putting them in something like the mangrove swamp, and that didn't fit. And someone suggested the dark oak forest because that's where the lore of this type of creature would come from anyway. And they were like, yes, but also this isn't enough to make players happy. You know, we got to give them something more. Just like they did in Trails and Tales when they dumped the cherry blossom biome. That was a punt because all of their feedback had come back and said your update is garbage. Bamboo blocks, chiseled bookshelves, not enough. And they were like, oh no, we got to rescue this because the trial chambers weren't ready, so they couldn't release that. The autocrafter wasn't ready. The autocrafter, the trial chambers, and the chiseled bookshelf would have been an update, but they weren't ready, and they dropped it. They dropped the ball, and they punted, and the cherry biome was their recovery. Just like this. This is we need a place for him to be. Let's do a dark oak forest. Oh, but we want to give him white wood. Okay, art. Get us some art. Week or two later, maybe a couple back and forths. I would be willing to place a wager that the development for this biome did not start until after their summer break. Some of the conversations could have been happening, but as I say, keys to code didn't start until August, maybe. And my supporting evidence of that is, Scar highlighted this, and he's absolutely right. They should have ended this presentation with, and the snapshot is available now. And then have it be released. Instead, they said coming in the next few months, not weeks, months, which means it's not going to be out in snapshots until maybe October. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't hit the snapshots next week. So in like 4 days. But realistically, I wouldn't expect it until closer to November, and then they're going to have their winter break. So there is hype all year long about this is Minecraft's 15th anniversary, and we're really excited, and we're going to have big things for you. This is the big thing. And I think that's what people are feeling. There's been hype all year for this. And it's not good enough. It's not the quality that I think Minecrafters deserve with what they're being sold. It's not enough to make people want to be involved and play the game. It's nowhere near what the Nether update was. And for the 15-year anniversary, you needed something huge coming out. They could have something huge in the works. And with their new motive of, also I want to point out in this screenshot, which shows it the best, this is an old growth taiga on the left. You can tell because they're tall trees. And they have lots of podzol with the little rocks. This is a dark oak forest on the right. You can tell it wraps around. There's the mushrooms, and you can see out in the backdrop, more mushrooms and more dark oak. This pale forest literally, the pale garden literally carves out dark oak biomes. It gets worse every time you look at it a second time. 15-year anniversary, and this is what they're doing. The villager experience thing is whatever. The movie is whatever. I have some things to say about that just because of how badly done it is, but I don't care because it's a movie, you know? They can have fun.
Useful.
My
So
other
we
big
watched a
thing
whole lot of
is
streams of players
put some
playing
emphasis on the
survival Minecraft.
bundles and such
We
coming.
waited until they opened their inventory and then we took a screenshot. Then we went through all these screenshots and we said, what could this player do if they had a bundle? What we found is that most people would be able to free up 8 inventory slots or more, which gave them a...
So, the bundle coming is great. I'm sorry, the bundle's been in development since 2019. It had limitation. I'm going techie on this, right? It had limitations, and they released a PR video, which I think was the first of their PR downfall, of why the bundles weren't coming, because they had already been in snapshots. They'd already been announced as a released feature for that year's update, and I can't remember what it was. I want to say 117 or 118. So they're like, hey, we can't do the bundles. We ran into a technical limitation specifically on mobile devices. And what they were talking about at the time is iOS, so Apple phone and iPads, didn't support multi-haptic feedback, so multi-touch, right? Case in point, on mobile devices, we all know the pinch and zoom function. It takes 2 points of contact and you spread or close to shrink or expand the images. iPhone and tablets couldn't understand that you were doing that. It didn't understand tap 1, tap 2. It was tap or that's it, or press and hold, and that's it. And the press and hold was only on certain things also. So there are some technical limitations they couldn't release because a third of their market at the time wouldn't be able to work with it. Instead of revamping how it worked, they threw it to the back burner, partially because Apple announced that they were coming out with that support. And as a developer, I would have suggested, let's hold off for a year, let them roll out the update, then we can do it and we can say, hey, it's supported on these devices moving forward. Either that got trash canned, or they continue to have internal conversations about inventory, and the conversations are bundles aren't the solution. So, yeah. Well, it's getting to the point adding copper blocks now with trials coming out, and copper trapdoors and copper doors and copper grates and chiseled copper and copper bulbs and for oxidized, weathered, et cetera, et cetera. You have like 72 blocks coming out with that. You introduce the cherry blossoms. There's more woods and stuff. You're coming out with the pale gardens. There's yet more wood, more blocks. Everyone's screaming inventory update, inventory update. Do something about the inventory. And they're like, some of the public comments are basically one, and I agree with this question. Do you just want free inventory? And I think that's a valid question to have in a survival game. Because the answer to that is no. In a survival game, you don't want free inventory. When inventory is arbitrary, there's no risk. There's no loss. Two, shulkers aren't the answer. It's what we've all adopted as the answer. They were a short-term gap when they were implemented. They only got made worse by them allowing shulkers to duplicate, because now everyone has copious amounts of shulkers. There's no early game option. They added chest boats, which should have been a good early game option, except for the whole limitation of, boats on land, boats uphill, boats going from grass to path. Like, there's a lot of problems with it. So I think the bundle has really come down to, hey guys, help, we're all out of ideas. We need this to go away. We need something as a stopgap. We've had the bundles in Java for a while. Let's get it working on Bedrock. Zalifian steps in, his team digs into it. I think it becomes priority 1 for them for the most part, and they start getting something that's functional. It's going to require some changes. They go through a design process, and we end up with where we're at currently in the snapshot, where bundles are basically ready to go. And I'd say about 98% of what they were for Java. There's definitely some improvements, but I think there's also been a little bit of a loss, not much, a little bit on Java currently. Here, I'll switch to the game and show you. On Java currently, with the Bedrock, if you hover over it, you can see all the items that are in there. Even if I was to fill this up, you would see all the items. You lose that with the new interface, right? You don't see that anymore. Instead, you see like the first 9 items or something like that. That's a little bit of a problem. But otherwise, it's functional and it works. Good. It's going to come out and it's going to help. People will see that it will help. The more people use the bundles, the more they'll see it. But the reality is they aren't the solution to inventory. We have some bigger problems, and I think Minecraft needs to look at what those problems are, because it's a mix I believe, between three things. One, legacy fanism. That is, Minecraft made the stack of 64 a thing. It's like part of their identity. I think it's time for us to look at that breaking. Maybe it shouldn't stack to 64. Or maybe we should be able to compact stacks the way you can ingots and iron blocks and things like that. Which is where the bundle would come in. Two, we have too many things that don't stack or stack poorly. Potions, ender pearls, tools, buckets, all of those things are either single stacks or stacked to like 16. And it's weird. In 2024, the gameplay that we have now, why do ender pearls stack to 16? Why don't potions stack at all? I get why splash potions and like lingering potions don't stack, but why can I not have a stack of 64? And then Mojang goes and shoots themselves in the foot by making the ominous bottles, which look like potions, but they stack to 64. Because they're not potions, they're a food item, just like carrots. So it's like, why does my ominous bottle and my bottle of enchanting stack, but my potion of fire resistance doesn't? Why? I understand why my durability used tools don't stack. They have different durabilities. Why can't I make a stack of pickaxes, and as I use them, they just don't stack the way anvils do? You could stack anvils, but once they hit a certain durability threshold, they don't stack anymore. Okay. Tools should work that way. Tools don't need block by block durability. They should have group durability. Each use should tinker in onto that durability, and once it hits it, it moves to the next threshold where it gets a certain amount of use before it breaks, just like anvils. And have it be exponentially worse, so you can't stack repair, which would be having a stack of slightly used product that you just recycle. No. You know, it's 10 uses, break. Next tier is 3 uses, break, that kind of thing. And you could chunk it down. Yeah. So they announced the thing with the bundles, which is fine, but this isn't new. This certainly isn't 15-year anniversary new worthy. And at no point during this did they talk about the future. And I think that's where a lot of people are really bummed out, right? So they started with the viewer discretion, which I thought was hilarious, where they come out and say, it's a work in progress. It's subject to change. Mojang is still fighting the PR battle of just because we show it on screen doesn't mean it is. And I don't understand why. I do understand why. I don't understand why this is where we're at with this company as a community. They don't understand the reason why the community comes back and says, you put it in your stream, therefore it is. It's because you show it in your stream like it's a feature you're releasing that's ready to roll, but really it's concept art at its best. And you're not capable of delivering high quality stuff anymore. I don't know why. I really wonder if Henrik and some other people leaving just broke their development cycle and they're like, oh, now what do we do? I don't know if they're suffering from a creativity director loss, if they're suffering from a capabilities loss, if they're doing so much back-end stuff that they're not developing on the forward, if someone is so not just finger on the pulse of the community, but trying to drink the blood of the pulse line. And so they look at it and go, look at all these negative comments. Oh, I cannot possibly. Instead of looking at it going, wow, look at all the good that we've done and the things that we're doing. Let's focus on that. Let's make more, bigger, better. Instead, they're like, people are never going to like this. It's going to take too long for us to do. We can't do that. Well, we have to give them something else right now. Okay, well, here's the pile of garbage on the corner of my desk. That's really what I feel like. I feel like they're just kind of like going, what can we do to placate the community? Make them happy. And then when they actually start talking about like the future of what's going on, they talk about how the community has been in here for the passion and other things. They talk about the game trailers and stuff like that. And I think it's cool. I think it's great. It offers nothing to it. They highlight the Ender Cup and other players, and it's like, cool. They start talking about the actual development and what they're doing. And it's like, I don't know. They're having a change of pace, right? Releasing the Armored Paws drop. So, and what this is focusing around is they can't wait until they have everything together at the year to do a big drop, because one, everyone sees it and then it's yesterday's news. I blame content creators. Two, they can't theme it together, right? And let's look at it from what we have for 2024. Let's assume that the Pale Gardens has been in work all year, and the mob vote was angled at the trial chambers. How does the armadillo, the crab, or the penguin fit into the trial chambers? Let me know when you have an answer. You could argue the armadillo does because of its wolf armor component, and taking wolves in the trial chambers is a net benefit to you. One, you're wrong because you end up killing your own dogs half the time. Two, what if the armadillo didn't win? What if the penguin had won? How would speedier boats in the ocean have tied into the trial chambers as a theme? And this is what happened to them. They got behind. Trial Chamber should have released following Caves and Cliffs. The Ancient City revamp was phenomenal, and it raised expectations. They realized what they had for the Trial Chambers was kind of garbage. So they pivoted, and we got the Trail Ruins instead. Also, there's technical limitations for the Trial Chambers in terms of both Java and Bedrock. Hitboxes were off. Like, there's a lot of combat-related things that were wrong. So they had to fix that, and that would take time. So now they're at a point where they've spent all their time trying to get the system ready for what they wanted to release 6 months ago, but it's not there, and now they don't have anything to show for the next year either. And I'd be willing to put money on that. That the development team and the product launch and everything else related to it, they're one part of the team was moving forward, and the other part of the team was like, we're not even caught up with what we missed yet. And I bet there's been clash and frustration. And I bet the developers are like, you need to stop. You're going too fast. You want too much. And we can't deliver it. So now, publicly, within the community, there's an expectation of good, great things. And there's a reality of meh, at best, meh. And people joke about how modders can do it quicker, better, faster. There was a Pale Garden biome mod out in about an hour because it's a reskinned dark oak. That's all they did. They just took the biome, the custom biome in Java, and carved out 20% of it, reskinned it, gave it a moss, and they're done. Now, that's not Bedrock, it's not full-fledged development. I understand that. But this is also like a 1 to 2 person team. This isn't a company with professional programmers. So as a professional, I look at what's going on with the release and this type of information. I don't hate the stuff that came out for this update, and it's quote smaller drop. I'm fine with it, perfectly fine with it. This should have been a change log, not the big end of the year 15-year. Hey everybody, we're celebrating 15 years. Look at what we've accomplished. Here's what's coming out in the future. They didn't talk about the future. The closest thing to the future was when Story McStoryson says movie coming soon, and welcome to Minecraft Live, where you get a sneak peek of the upcoming movie coming soon. Yeah, April of 2025. And where you'll be able to, I forget where she said it, but you'll be able to see the stuff that's coming in several months. And it's like, what? Why? Yeah, more regular updates will replace the summer update, allow us long-term improvements to ensure we can build Minecraft for a long run. I think that they have significant issues on their back end that they're trying to work through, and so they're not actively developing big content, and people want, again, that conflict between who's doing what and where. But right there, when Agnes will release in the next few months. We're excited to show you 2 of them that will release within the next few months. The 2 updates are the Bundles of Bravery, where they're going to give us bundles probably next week or the week after, a couple weeks from there. Because they've been in snapshots for a while already, and the Pale Gardens, which will probably come out, if I had to guess, in the winter, December. Really glad to have the white wood, really happy to see it. Really sad at the lack of innovation, really disappointed with what I see as corporate failure. And this isn't a Microsoft problem. I think Microsoft is stepping in now because this isn't working. Yo, Griffin, we're talking about your favorite thing, the white wood. And all the craziness. But yeah, like the whole bundles thing. Oh, and hardcore and Bedrock. Huge thing for Bedrock. Absolutely support it being a big thing for Bedrock. Hardcore's been in Java for years, so I think you're not going to see the hype from the Bedrock community that you would expect. No one's going to be like, yay, we finally get a feature that's been in Java. Flip that. Java content creators lost their minds when they got leads on boats. It was a big deal to them. But now, 15-year anniversary, y'all. This is what it is. They're releasing bundles, which have been developed in Java for at least 3 or 4 years. They're releasing hardcore to Bedrock, which has been available in Java for probably like 7 or 8 years. When did that come out? Actually, I'm gonna look that up. When was Minecraft hardcore? It was released as a mod for the game. It's almost 10 years ago. Yeah. The game was like 4 or 5 years old when they did that. Very curious now. What would your ideal update look like? From Minecraft 1.21, what would you change? Woo. Okay. My ideal update would... So here's the problem. They keep adding new things and they don't fix anything in the game. And there's a lot to fix in the game. My ideal update would be a merge of Java and Bedrock. That they would release a new core code base that would allow transitioning between the 2 versions and get it unified on a single thing to make development a unified development pattern. But that's a different thing. If we're talking strictly like to the community, right? To you, the player, based off of 1.21, I would have looked to have added something like bundles into that at that time, for sure. Never mind, it should have been out sooner. The The trial chamber, I don't like the trial chambers like in general. I don't think that the trial chamber should exist. I believe that the trial chambers should have been a stronghold update, and the trial keys should not have opened vaults, but instead should have unlocked the end gateway. I would have changed that mechanic so that in order to put the Eye of Ender in the slot, you have to get a trial key. You get the trial key from overcoming the trial spawners that are located in strongholds. And then the mechanic of the vault where it gives you the special loot should have just been applied to the spawners, and the spawners be renewable like they are. All of that could stay. But the vaults shouldn't have been a separate block entity. They shouldn't have had a separate mechanic, and they shouldn't have had separate loot tables. The changes to the ominous events, I like that. I think that was a good change. I think there should still be some risk to killing a bannerman in a village, because right now you have no way of understanding what a raid is now. Because before you kill him and suddenly you have a raid started, you're like, oh my god. And it took almost no time for everyone to be like, oh, the pale dudes with the banners bring more badness when you kill them around my village. Now you wouldn't know that unless you pick up the ominous bottle and go, oh, what is this ominous bottle? I'm going to drink it. So baby. But that whole changing this, I would probably keep that generally. I would have focused more quality of life updates for 1.21. There's significant issues in gameplay. There's significant issues in inventory management. There's significant issues in worldly knowledge. So let me explain what I mean by that, right? How do we know to get better trades from a villager that we need to cure them from being an infected zombie? Well, you know that because you played the Village and Pillage update when they introduced it. You know that because you watch content creators who tell you that. Or in-game knowledge comes from finding an igloo, where underneath the igloo is the science lab where you have a villager and a zombie, and there's signs that point to them with a brewing stand and a weakness and a golden apple. It gives you all the clues and information you need. How many people have found the igloo? How many people know that that exists? Right? That should exist in every village, not in an igloo. Not in some wild, random structure that generates 2% of the time. Because even if you find an igloo out in the wild, it doesn't necessarily have the basement. That's not a guarantee, which it probably should be. But yeah, trial chambers, I wouldn't have made a separate structure. I would have revamped the strongholds. You could have incorporated more copper to them as is. You could have created the trial rooms accordingly. You could have created an actual entrance to the dang things. Give me a surface level entrance or a cave level entrance. That'd be fine. Make it to where every entrance is like a cave, a cavern, a dripstone cave, right? Something. Not just randomly buried in deep slate. That's the chicken's way out. It's just like Tango. Tango builds his games underground. Why? So he doesn't have to build a building around it to hide his redstone. The developers do the same thing for their structures. They don't need to hide their structure. Inventory management. I think there's things they could do that are quick and easy that would help with inventory management that would be more or less non-controversial. First thing I would do is add 2 buttons. You want to see what those buttons are? Hold on. I'll show you what those buttons are. Because there's, lo and behold, a mod to do it. I would add. Let's do browser. Oh, bother. Ah. Sorry, I got to put it in there. Okay. Here. Right here. This is it. They could have implemented something like this on both Bedrock and Java, and it would have had exponential gains. Can I scroll? Can't I scroll? Interact with the page, please. So what this is they have 3 buttons off to the side. Sort, move everything, take everything. 3 buttons. You can add it to every interface, Bedrock included, for touch devices. When I open a chest in Minecraft, when I open an inventory, I should have a button where I can take, like, this block here, right? I should be able to take this block, grab it, move it over the store all button, and all of it in my inventory goes up there. Now in Java, we can do this, right? In Java, if you have a thing, let's say that you had bunches of stacks of blocks. If I want to move all those blocks, I could pick up anything else and shift, double click, and it all goes up there. You can't do that on touch devices. Add a button to do it. The interface provides for you to have a button to do it. There's plenty of room. It's not bizarre. And let me sort my stuff. Group the like blocks together. Put all my stone together. Put all my workstations together. Put all my glass together. You know? Little things like that. Minecraft management of inventory speaks volumes. And there's mods that do it. That was just one mod. There's like 4 or 5 of them that do it. Some of them I think look a little better, probably work a little better overall. I highly recommend it. But I've said it for a long time that they don't have. Mojang suffers from a PR problem. I don't want to say development problem. I think they have the people who are capable of delivering cool things. I think they have a problem showing or demonstrating some of those cool things. And that's where they run into their biggest flub. The other thing, I've been asking for this for a long time. I think that they would benefit from implementing it, and the fact that they haven't implemented it is, I think, a detriment to their system. Discard that. Let me show you. And that is a roadmap. It's literally they don't have a roadmap. There is no Mojang roadmap, and I don't mean that to say that they don't have one. I don't work there, so obviously I can't speak immediately to it. But realistically, this type of documentation doesn't exist in the Minecraft ecosystem. I'd be willing to bet you money, bet you lunch, whatever, right? Like, at no point is there a document or a timetable like this out there. There is maybe a whiteboard. There is definitely, for some of their bigger stuff going on, internally, internal dev cycles, absolutely. Because I have zero doubt, and I mean zero doubt, that Minecraft developers are running an agile environment. So they're doing sprints and micromanaging to the core. The problem is they don't have the goals associated with them because they're not telling the stories appropriately. They're telling the story for the next PR push. They're looking at what's going on either down the road in terms of we can't do this until we do this. And they're overburdened by this. Or they're so focused on what's going on right here, the rest of it doesn't matter. They're so focused on, where is it? On this problem. They're focused on this problem. That every time they show something to the world, it's taken as, oh, it's coming in the next update. And they don't need to. It's not the next update. No one cares. People care about the next update. No. What I mean is they're so focused on what we're going to deliver in October or December that they don't look at how can we deliver this thing to our community. Like the Nether update, as an example, I don't think was planned to release. I think they planned to do the Nether update. I think they worked on the Nether update. And when it got to a point where they're like, yeah, we're going to do this Nether update, they released it. And then they decided every year they need to do the Nether update. It's like, no. They needed to step back and evaluate the things that they wanted to do and then start doing them. And instead, they said, we're going to revamp Caves and Cliffs. They ran into technical roadblocks because they're ignorant of how their system works. Because they're split. The Bedrock Java things are a problem. The chief developers leaving was a problem. Never mind the pandemic coming in at the tail end of it. They got hit by going, oh, we have a really bad, messed up, lame program, Java, that you can't do this cool stuff in because you guys wrote it too simply. And C++ is too robust. It takes time to develop it. And the Java guys have no idea about half of that. They just don't know. Especially when the Java guys are modders like Nimbom and Slice Lime. Great people, competent programmers. Obviously, they have the job. They're doing the work. Kudos to them. There's a difference between being able to write code and being able to be a developer, to do game design, do code development, right? I hate to say it, but any monkey can write code. We can have AI write code. It could be fully functional, quote, bugless code that'll do it. You have to know how to give it the parameters and implement something correctly to get that done. And they're not. There's a disconnect. So the Phasmophobia release thing, this is what they need. They need to not say in October we're going to do these 3 things. Instead, they need to say the next things we're working on are this. And then the next things we're working on are these. And then after that, we're going to work on this. But also, here's stuff that we're also working on. And when it comes up, we're going to give it to you. So like in this picture, as an example, the stuff that's on the bottom, down where at the very bottom, it says releasing separately as soon as they're ready. Phasmophobia had a new map, reworking their maps, bug fixes, performance improvements in the console. Those weren't like a scheduled, we're going to release the console update in version 1.8. No. When it's ready, and we'll push it with whatever version release we also have. And then they put in there along the lines, the next thing we're working on, lighting overalls, real-time communication, adjusting the items, upgrades to the shop. Minecraft could do the exact same thing. We're working on generally bug fixes always happen, right? But they could put in there, we're working on an inventory strategizing. We're working on redstone optimization. We're working on, you know, 2 updates down the road, we want to release a new structure with a new mob boss and things like that. They could put on there and say, this is what we're looking to accomplish over the next year or 2. And what that means is when you get to that point where it's like, hey, look, we can't release a new structure and mob boss. We have these other things we have to do. That gets shifted down on the roadmap, and those other things come into play. And everyone looks at it and goes, oh, they moved the Warden release because the Caves and Cliffs had to be delayed. And people understand that, especially in the tech community. You don't get that elsewhere. It's not a thing. I'm going to run an ad real quick. We're going to get a drink. Take a quick break. All right. While the ad's running, we're going to chat. We're going to keep working on this stuff. This here. Go here. Some of the stuff in here. It was a good chat, y'all. Definitely good stuff. I didn't get the wood. We'll grab that while the ad's running. So yeah, there's a lot going on with the Minecraft updates. I'm really happy with a lot of the stuff that I saw, but there's a lot of stuff that just isn't. It's not jiving, and it's kind of obvious that it's not jiving. They need to address that pretty significantly. Stripped. A search feature on the inventory would be phenomenal. If you were asking what I might do that way, that would be a way to go. That'd bring quality of life updates that we appreciate. That we don't have right now. But yeah, no, there's just a lot of stuff with the Minecraft Live that it was just disappointment, and I think a lot of people saw that it was disappointment because it's been months since they had anything, and the stuff that they gave us was not, in my opinion, quality stuff. It's not anything where people are like, "Oh yeah, no, I see why it took them, 6 months to do." They're not there. And that's kind of sad, to be honest. It's not where they should be. It's pretty obvious it's not where they should be, but that's where they were. And, I think they're gonna pay for that. I think they've lost a lot of faith. People are excited for the white wood, notably so. I appreciate them for that, but they're not. It's not going to be a fan-loved experience moving forward. As a community, we've just lost faith with them, and I think they see the writing on that wall. I think they're aware of it. Okay, and this should be easy. We're just going to fill these in with the woods. things. All right, it's textured. Those are money, mud, 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 mud. Mud's actually back on that side. Yeah. Sorry, let me out. Think of It's really hard too, because like there was a lot of things coming up after the live stream where Minecrafters were streaming, and a lot of them were saying like this is a like Mojang positive space, so you could already tell they had been getting maybe some feedback or stuff from their communities and chats, and they're like, no, that's not what I want. I don't think anyone should be negative in terms of, oh, bad them. They're so bad. But I think it's important to be objective with it and to understand that, hey, they don't owe you anything, but this is also a game studio that has close to 1,000 employees. They've sold 300 million copies of this game since it was first released in 15 years ago. They're not like a small mom and pop development studio who need our kudos. They need to be held to a high account, because if their community is unhappy, displeased, or let down, it needs to be reflected to them. If you hide behind yes men, you're just going to end up with continued bad stuff. So it's definitely an interesting point in time, I think the end update was a way to go. Maybe they'll come out with it. I think the Pale Biome the Pale Gardens should have been in the end. I think it would have made a better end. Yeah, it would be better if it was in the end. The fact that it's not is also kind of just garbage. Do this to save Skulk, even though I don't need to save Skulk. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I like the Skulk bin up there. That adds some good flavor. Let's see. It's going to be a little oily, but it's also going to help provide some light and some depth, which is really cool. I need more slappy slaps, guys. I need more slappy slaps. So I'm kind of curious, kind of like your guys' thoughts. I know everyone's super excited by the Pale Garden. I don't want to diminish that. It's a cool thing. Unlike a lot of people, I'm not looking at having like the massive update. Like it doesn't need to be massive. I just think for 15-year anniversary, this wasn't it. I think they're dropping the ball. I don't think they have anything bigger planned. I don't think they know how to do anything bigger and better. I think they're having a little bit of identity crisis and a little bit of PR crisis. I think someone's in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about someone leaving the organization or being reassigned from it. I'm seeing people's names as being listed as like head of Mojang and things like that that belong to other people. So it just raises some questions about kind of what's going on. I think the tone change is a good indicator. Things have changed or are changing. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the game, over the next five years or so. All right, let's come back to that. Let's see if I can make that hole. Nope. Missed. Oh, okay. Before I die and splat my stuff all over the void, let's go this way. Just want some candy. I just want some deep slate candy. I have too many big blocks. Okay. Got it. Mission accomplished. Have my little rant. Have my little Minecrafty thing. I'm gonna go see who's out in the wilds. I'm gonna send you guys off. We're gonna call it. I was streaming a little bit last night. We had some stuff going on this morning. I'm gonna hang out with the kiddos this afternoon. So let's send you off to somebody. Who's doing what? We're gonna go say hi to Scar. Got to meet him at TwitchCon. His good times. Do say hello. There's the inspiration. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Love you to pieces. I will be on next week. Take care. Bye for now.